The bell above the diner door jingled softly, a sound so ordinary no one noticed it, until a sharp slap cut through the room and everything went silent. The coffee cups froze mid-air, forks paused, and every heartbeat seemed to stop at once. If you've ever wondered how a single cruel moment can change dozens of lives forever, stay with this story until the very end, because what happened an hour later no one inside that diner could have imagined. Lily sat alone in a corner booth near the window, her wheelchair tucked close to the table as if she were trying to make herself smaller than she already felt. She was 19, with soft brown hair pulled into a loose ponytail and eyes that carried both kindness and exhaustion. A childhood accident had left her with limited mobility on one side of her body, and while she had learned to live with it, the world hadn't always learned how to treat her. That morning, she had come to the diner for something simple, a quiet breakfast and a sense of normalcy before her physical therapy appointment. She ordered pancakes, her favorite, because they reminded her of mornings when life felt easier. Across the room, 3 teenagers lounged in a booth, laughter spilling out louder than it needed to. They were the kind of kids who fed on attention, whose confidence came from making others feel small. At first, they only stared. Then came the whispers. Then the giggles. Lily tried to ignore them, focusing on the steam rising from her coffee, but she could feel their eyes on her like a weight pressing down on her chest. One of them stood up and limped exaggeratedly, mocking her movements as he passed by her table. Another snorted with laughter, recording on his phone. Lily's face burned, but she stayed quiet. She had learned that sometimes silence felt safer than fighting back. The waitress noticed but hesitated, fear flickering in her eyes. She needed this job, and the boys looked like trouble. Then it happened. One of the teens leaned in too close, invading Lily's space, making cruel jokes about her wheelchair. When she finally looked up and asked him, her voice shaking, to please leave her alone, he laughed, and slapped her across the face. The sound echoed. Lily's head snapped to the side, her cheek stinging, her eyes filling instantly with tears she had sworn she wouldn't let fall in public. The boys burst out laughing, proud of themselves. No one moved. Not at first. People looked down at their plates, pretending not to see. Fear has a way of freezing even good people. Lily covered her face with her trembling hand. She didn't cry loudly. She just sat there, silent, broken in a way that went far deeper than the slap. The boys left soon after, tossing a few coins on the table and walking out like nothing had happened. The diner slowly returned to its low hum, but something felt wrong, like a crack running through the room. The waitress finally approached Lily, apologizing over and over, offering free pie, but Lily only shook her head. She finished her coffee with shaking hands, paid her bill, and waited quietly for her ride, staring out the window as if hoping the world might look kinder on the other side of the glass. About an hour later, the rumble began. At first, it sounded like distant thunder. Then the windows started to vibrate. Heads turned. The door flew open, and one by one, leather-clad bikers walked in, big men with heavy boots, weathered faces, and patches stitched onto their jackets. The room fell silent again, but this time the silence was thick with fear. Lily flinched. She had already had enough for one day. The bikers filled the diner, taking seats, ordering coffee, their voices deep and calm. They didn't look angry. They looked focused. Finally, the largest of them, a man with a gray beard and gentle eyes, stood up and walked toward Lily's table, every breath caught in her throat. He stopped a respectful distance away and lowered himself so he was at eye level with her. "Miss," he said softly, "are you the young lady who was hurt here earlier?" Lily nodded, tears threatening again. She expected pity, or worse. Instead, he placed a hand over his heart. "My daughter uses a wheelchair too," he said. "Someone texted our group about what happened. We just wanted you to know, you're not alone." Something inside Lily cracked open. For the first time that day, she cried freely. The bikers didn't shout. They didn't threaten. They simply stayed. They filled the diner with a quiet, protective presence. The waitress relaxed. Other customers began to breathe easier. One biker paid Lily's bill and left a tip so big the waitress covered her mouth in shock. Before leaving, the gray-bearded man looked around the room. "Bullies thrive when good people stay silent," he said calmly. "Kindness is louder than cruelty, but only if we use it." Lily watched them ride away, the thunder fading into the distance. Something had changed, not just in the diner, but in her. That afternoon, Lily went to therapy with a new strength in her posture. The slap still hurt, but it no longer defined her. She had seen proof that strangers could care, that protection could arrive when hope felt gone. And maybe the most powerful lesson of all was this: one act of cruelty can scar a moment, but one act of courage can heal it. If this story touched your heart, don't scroll away. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still exists in this world. Because you never know, your support might be the reason someone finds hope when they need it most.